My name is Helena Gilbert. I'm 71 years old and I'm a retired bookseller. My partner and I went to a dinner party and we'd had quite a bit to drink. And so the following day, when my friend said, "I don't like the way you look, you've had your cough far too long, I want you to go to the doctor's." And I poo-pooed the whole thing, explained that we'd had a rough night the night before, that I always got a cough in the winter, that I'd had pneumonia years ago, and when I got a cold it always went on my chest. And so I just didn't take any notice of her. The following morning she rang again and persisted. I went to see my doctor. And he said to me, "Well, I don't really think there's much wrong with you, but to reassure your friend, I'll send you to Withington Hospital." I didn't think anything of it. A few days after that, I got a letter to go to Withenshaw Hospital, and I didn't make any connection at all between the two visits, the two hospitals. I'd had problems with an accident with my shoulder, and I was having treatment on that. And so when they sent me to the CT department, I thought it was to do with my arm. And they said, no, something was revealed on the X-ray, and we're to examine it further. I came home really, really shaken by it. And I said to Martin, "I must go to the doctor's." Phoned the doctor the following morning and they said, "Oh no, you can't come to the doctor's, you can't come to the doctor's. You haven't got an appointment." And I said, "I'm going to insist because something really upsetting happened at the hospital yesterday." I went and she knew absolutely nothing about it. She was in the dark as much as I was. And I thought that that was really quite worrying. They discovered a tumour, that it was quite small, that it was only a few centimetres. I was told it was centimetres then. In fact, it turned out to be only millimetres. But I needed to see somebody at Withenshaw Hospital who would explain everything. But again, it was Christmas and she didn't know how long it would take. I left that surgery in tears. I had a lung test, see how fit I was, how good my breathing was. And also, I think it was a biopsy, they called it that, where they stick an enormous hypodermic needle through your lung. And that was absolutely awful. And I was told not to breathe, not to move, and not to cough. And in fact, all you want to do is those three. And then I went home, and it was some weeks after that that I saw Dr. Booton again. He introduced me to a nurse. I hadn't even been aware of her presence in the room. And then I realised she was a Macmillan nurse. And I burst into tears, because to me, Macmillan only means one thing. Over the months that I've been ill, I've realised that they mean an awful lot more. The biopsy had been inconclusive and that the only thing to do was to have an operation. And so on the Friday morning I went in and had the operation. I was told then that they thought it hadn't been malignant, that it was good news. But in fact, weeks later I went back to the hospital and was told that it had been malignant and I needed another operation. And came home quite upset that I'd needed another operation because the first one had been bloody awful. I had only a few days to think about it, and that seemed too short a time. In the end, I decided not to have it done. Because of my decision not to have a second operation, I would be under a sort of high priority watch, and I would see clinicians regularly. I would have x-rays and scans regularly, and that's what's happened. I'm sure the doctors thought they were telling me all I needed to know, but I don't think that they were, really. And I could have done with a bit more information each time that I went. And to discover only 2 weeks ago that the chances of it coming back were very, very slight, that's almost a year. I could have known that and just got on with my life. I was anxious between each stage, that something might be revealed more, that it might have come back, that they hadn't got it in the first place. All of those things that prey on your mind. I'm aware that Macmillan is starting a pilot scheme for lung health checks, and this will alert people to the idea of having a quick, speedy check for lung health. And I can't think of anything more useful than that. I was extremely lucky to have the friend that I had. And Macmillan can be that friend to everybody.